Slight bitterness, but not anything extreme. I am a certified cicerone. It's also known as a beer sommelier. I think the very first idea of a beer sommelier or cicerone sort of comes off as a person who's drinking beer all day. Unfortunately, it's not as glamorous as that. There's actually a lot of legwork that actually goes into it before the beer actually ever gets presented to the guest. You need to start doing tastings, you need to start doing pairings, you need to start building out beer menus, finding the right glassware, getting the right chillers. I was working at Gastro Pub at the Venetian. There weren't too many people in Las Vegas that actually had such a wide selection of beers. We had a cicerone actually on our staff. When I started talking to him, I started figuring out, you know what, there's so much more to learn about beer than I actually already knew. I knew about IPAs, I knew about porters, I knew about stouts, but to start talking about beer in a way that was almost like so romantic. To become a cicerone, I think you really just sort of need to be a beer nerd at heart. You need to start picking up books, you need to actually start doing your research, your knowledge about all the different styles of beer. You have to know about the SRMs, the gravity of each beer, how it's been brewed, how it's been made, the history behind it, what it's supposed to taste like. Being able to talk about it almost like wine. I think I've tasted about 500 beers now, maybe even more. There has been one or two instances where I have become slightly inebriated, opening up magnums of Chimay or doing these fantastic beer tastings, beer dinners. It's just one of the perks of the job. Becoming a cicerone was probably one of the most difficult tests and exams that I've actually ever come across. There's actually 4 different certifications. Each one has to be completed before you can go on to the next level. The exam was actually the course of an entire day. It was tasting for a major portion of it. The knowledge and theory portion of it was probably over 50%, and then beer pairing was, I think, another 25% of the actual exam. It was an extremely arduous test, but very fulfilling, rewarding even after everything was done. Today, we're here at Hotel Barrière Fouquet, and we're going to be trying 5 different beers. We have a really nice, beautiful assortment going from light to dark. This is Gaffel Kolsch. This is a very unique style of beer that actually hails from the region of Cologne in Germany. Think of champagne. I would pair this with fried chicken. It would be really nice carbonation just to go ahead and cut through the fat on the chicken. This is Saison DuPont. There's a really nice malt background to it. It is a farmhouse ale, so it has a little bit of like a barnyardy sort of characteristic to it, but phenomenal. One of the best pairings of my entire life was actually done with the Saison. I had this particular style with a triple cream cheese, a little bit of honeycomb, and with a really nice crusty baguette. And that was the absolute moment where the light bulb went off and I said, wow, pairing beer and food is such a magical experience. This beer is Tres Fontaine. From Dutch translation, it means 3 fountains. The style is an Oud Goose. It is actually a blend of 3 different lambics, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year lambic from Lindemans. This actually pairs extremely well with a hot lobster roll. The butter, the bread, the sweetness of the lobster itself, extremely delightful pairing. This is Beneficio Torretiara. It is a Flemish red coming from Belgium. However, this beer itself is actually brewed in Italy. It is triple fermented, first time in stainless steel, and then aged in cognac barrels. This beer pairs extremely well with barbecued meats, such as brisket, and also strawberry cheesecake. So this beer is Pojola. It's an Imperial Baltic Porter hailing from the region of Estonia. It actually comes from the area of the Baltic Sea. It's much more malt driven, So you have flavors of coffee, chocolate, even really nice rich molasses. This particular beer pairs extremely well with, say, a coffee-crusted steak or even a flourless chocolate cake. When I first started, I thought that 300 beers was the crazy exorbitant amount for a beer list. Nowadays, I mean, I've come across places that are even over 500 and 600 different SKUs for beers. Cicerones are definitely more in demand now. People are much more in tune to what's in their glass. They want to know more. They want to be able to go ahead and find these fantastic beers, and they're asking the right questions.
Is there a time that's too early in the day to drink beer?
No, I come from Las Vegas. Absolutely not.